Hello, Eddie County. How are y'all doing today? I just got back from the golf course. I told y'all I was going to read the Sixth Amendment. I was going to read the Sixth Amendment because it talks about criminals. In all criminal prosecutions, the accused shall enjoy the right to a speedy and public trial by an impartial jury of the state and district wherein the crime shall have been committed, which district shall have been previously ascertained by law, and to be informed of the nature and cause of the accusation, to be confronted with the witnesses against him, to have compulsory process for obtaining witnesses in his favor, and to have his assistance of counsel for his defense. The Sixth Amendment. The Sixth Amendment talks about crime. Crime. All right, as you'll notice that this book right here is the Criminal Code. Somehow, somebody put the Sixth and Seventh Amendment in the same book. That's a no-no. They did that to fraudulently prosecute a civil offense as a crime. And that's a no-no. It's a no-no. I say a no-no. I don't understand what anybody would consider that's not a no-no. Because I got to tell you that the Sixth Amendment is nowhere else in the Constitution. The supreme law of the land. The supreme law of the land is described in the preemption doctrine. The preemption doctrine talks about the supreme law of the land is the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution in the state of which you reside. These two are separate from each other, totally. You'll find the Seventh Amendment tomorrow on Sunday. Today is Saturday. I went and played 18 holes of golf. I didn't play 18 holes because my shoulder started just hurting me very, very severely. My wife put castor oil, warmed it up a little bit in the microwave and made it hot so it'll soak in good into my bones. I'm old. I've had my share of beating myself up throughout the years, helping people, not bringing them down. I've never tried to bring anybody down, ever. I think it's everybody's responsibility to pick somebody up. Pick somebody up. Even if they're down, pick them up. If you've had your share of picking up folks, you've done good. Me, myself, I've been picking folks up a long time, and I'm going to do some more picking up here pretty soon. No big deal. I don't like people abusing their power and officially misconducting themselves and breaching their oath, prosecuting a right like a crime. It's the Constitution that dictates what judges do, how they conduct themselves, and they have a responsibility to comply with their oath and codes of judicial conduct. Every state has them. They're the same thing. Might be worded a little bit different, but they're the same thing. Codes of judicial conduct are codes, and they carry consequences. That's why they're codes. Codes don't apply to you and I. The supreme law of the land applies to you and I, and it dictates what a crime is, what a right is, what a civil right is, and the responsibility that officials are supposed to be protecting those rights. If you're a victim, officials should be protecting your rights. no matter if they are the perpetrator, no matter if the police, the state police, the municipal police, the county sheriff, the magistrate judge, the district judge, the appellate judge, the Supreme Court judge, even if they are the perpetrators, they need to be held accountable. They need to be held accountable. You know, there's no two tiers of justice. That's why every state has the right to convene a citizens' grand jury, submit the evidence, let the jury decide if there was a crime, if the submitter of the evidence presents a crime, presents the evidence, presents the victim, the perpetrator should be prosecuted, even if it's a judge. That's where we're failing. We, the people, are failing. The judge is already a failure. The district attorney is already a failure. The sheriff is already a failure. The municipal cop is already a failure. The state police is the biggest failure because they are the biggest one with the authority and the responsibility to correct that wrong or be complicit in that wrong. 42 U.S.C. 1986. These crimes are not being submitted to the grand jury because members of the bar are going to protect members of the bar, and they're going to forum shop to do it. Another crime. Forum shopping is a crime. Nancy Long has done a lot of forum shopping. She represents a lot of these municipalities and a lot of these counties officials to get them off of their crimes. And she's not getting them off. She's getting them to where the point that the evidence is never submitted to a grand jury. That's why a citizen's grand jury needs to investigate this. That's why a citizen's grand jury needs to be presented with this evidence and the victim that presented this. And that's why everybody, when you have something happen to you, document it. Document it, make an affidavit, submit it to the county clerk down there. It costs $25 to record it. Once you record it, that magistrate is he's a probate judge. That probate judge in that office with the county clerk is supposed to look at that and submit that to the grand jury. But he's not going to do that. He's going to protect his little buddies. That's what they do. That's what they do. They get it up there to a judge that can easily be forum shopped. And I don't care what they do I don't care how they do it. That's the least of my concerns. Because as soon as the judge fails to submit that to the appropriate grand jury to get a true bill of indictment or even get a no bill, whatever. If there's no crime there, there's no crime there. If there's a crime there, a honorable grand jury is going to true bill that indictment. That indictment needs to be presented to a jury and allow the perpetrator to answer for that. You know, it's just be held accountable to a jury of his peers. And I don't see that happening. I have evidence. I have docket numbers. When that judge, if and ever an honorable judge, if one never presents himself, that just goes to tell me that there is not an honorable judge anywhere. Anywhere. I have cases that were presented that I filed. Nancy Long forum shopped for the municipalities, those officials that abused their power, officially misconducted themselves, and breached their oath. I have docket numbers. Those docket numbers are not dismissible. They, under 904, 15 CFR 904-212, it says that a case can be dismissed. But if there are allegations, or if there's presented evidence that civil liberties violations were implicated in that docket number, that case can't be dismissed. And any judges that dismissed it violated Title 18, 241 because he didn't present that to a jury. And in my state, New Mexico, and under the 7th Amendment, the jury shall be the finder of facts, not the judge. And if the judge didn't look at the merits of the case, he has no business sitting on the bench. He has no business sitting on the bench. I have a dismissal order that was presented in a case that said that the case was dismissed for failure to state a claim. Accusing an official of a crime is stating a claim. It is stating a claim. I claim that my elected representatives abused their power and officially misconducted themselves and breached their oath. Those are claims. Those are criminal claims. Those allegations, accusations, I am claiming that they broke the law. And I want to present that case. I have the right to prosecute that case myself. I don't have to give it to a district attorney. The mere fact that I filed it makes me a prosecutor. I'm a prosecutor. I'm a pro se litigant prosecutor. Simply because I filed the claim. We have a problem with this, and we need to fix it. We need to make examples of all of these judges and members of the judiciary for failing to defend and protect and preserve my right to a trial by jury. They are complicit. The judiciary is complicit. I'm going to write a writ on this. I'm going to submit another claim. I'm going to get involved with somebody in another case and present the failures of these judges and see if we can't find an honorable judge to prosecute these cases and hear the merits of the case, not Nancy Long's bullshit. That failure to state a claim is grounds for dismissal when civil liberties violations, because it's not. You can look it up. 15 CFR 904-212, number 3. I've said this before, and I'm going to keep saying it. Somebody's going to see this. And when they see it, they're going to send one of their little puppy dogs over here to come and say, hey, man, this judge wants to speak to you. You know what I'm going to tell that son of a bitch? Tell that judge to come and see me. You know where I live? The fucking judge knows where I live. They can come right here. I won't run them off. They don't start their crap. I won't accuse them of the crimes they're committing. I won't accuse them of the crimes they're committing right here. I just know that there's not an honorable judge in the United States that has the courage, just like Jim Jordan, don't have the courage to answer for all the paperwork that I have sent to the United States judiciary. I have paperwork on Jim Jordan's desk, or probably under it, or under the trash can. Because he's a coward to have to answer to somebody like me. He's a coward. Josh Hawley's the same damn way. Cowards. They have no business up there. They're not presenting this shit to the grand jury. They don't have no business up there. Every time somebody accuses them of violating somebody's civil rights, they should present that to a grand jury. This needs to go in front of a grand jury in the 10th Circuit. I've already avoided the 10th Circuit and submitted it to the United States Supreme Court. That's why Scott Harris's name is in my house, because he violated Title 18, 2071, and 2076. USC 18, 2071, and 2076. His name is in my house. His name is in my house. He's in my brother's house. He's in my other brother's house. And he's in a friend of mine's house. Because I separated all of these papers that he sent back. And if you read 2076, you'll understand what I'm talking about. Share these videos, Eddy County. Share them. Even if Facebook and YouTube and whoever else is sharing these on their other platforms is blocking them. Keep sharing them. Let's get this word out. Let's get together and do something about it. Let's get together and do something about it, something big and strong, and put these people back in their place. They're sitting on a saddle. They need to be sitting in a seat. Have a nice day, Eddy County. We'll see you tomorrow after prayers.